Hey everybody, let's take a look at how the graph of a line cuts the coordinate plane into three distinct sections. And if we're going to do that, we've got our coordinate plane, we kind of need a line. So let's start with this one right here. This line is y equals 2x plus 3. And in order to understand the three sections that we get from this, we really need to understand how that equation y equals 2x plus 3 relates to this line. So I have a point that I can slide anywhere I please along here. So let's leave it at a nice, easy to understand point like -1, 1. I have an x value and a y value. And this equation, y equals 2x plus 3, tells me that I can take whatever my x value is, -1 in this case. And if I take -1 times 2 and add 3, that gives me my y value. So I can see that that works for -1, but it works for anywhere. At 0, 3, when x is equal to 0, I multiply 0 by 2 and add 3, and what do I get? But 3. And it works down here as well. If I take the point -3, -3, I can see that it satisfies that as well. And so really what happens is if I take any point along this line, and there are infinitely many of them, every single one of those points has the y value equal to 2 times the x value plus 3. And so when I put them all together, imagine graphing an infinite number of points, all of which make that equation true. What I end up with is a solid line. And so that solid line represents everywhere where the y value is equal to 2x plus 3. Now I can also take a look at what happens if I want it not equal, but rather greater. So if I want all the y values that are greater than 2x plus 3, well, when x is -1, 2x plus 3 is 1. And so all the values that are greater than that would be everything where my cursor is pointing. Everything above that right there. And I can do that for every single point on here. The spot where y is greater than 2x plus 3 is everything bigger than this. And if I graph all of those points together, what would happen is that I shade in not just the line itself, but everything above that line. Everything you see in red represents the spots where the y value is greater than what it would be for 2x plus 3. And I can do this below the line as well. So if I look at everything below -1 for this point, and then I can scoot the point here, and everything below that, and everything below that, what happens is that I eventually fill in everything down there. And so I can see I have this section now in blue where all of those y values are less than 2x plus 3. And so putting that all together, I have in red the area where y is greater than 2x plus 3, in blue the area where it is less than, and in black, which is harder to see because it's got all those things layered over it, that part shows the part of the graph that is equal to 2x plus 3. So I have these three different sections, and I can tell if a point is in the greater than section, the equal to section, or the less than section.